here. I think I have instantly crashed this. Clicking around too much. There we go. Well, let's check all our cameras. There we go. Heck yeah. See my mess over there. Whew. Bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff we're about to start working on. Let's see. So this is our live. Okay, go to studio mode here. Okay. Should be going good. I do want to check the live just to make sure it's looking good, everybody, before we get started. I've made the mistake before of not checking the live. There we go. Just to make sure it's looking good, everybody. Let's see. Before we get started. Okay, I'm just going to test it out real quick. We hear a couple of echoes here. Before not checking the live. Okay. Looking good. Alright. So, today we're working on a PS5. Now, we just did the HDMI port over here, and today we're going to be doing the second to the left, or furthest to the left, USB 3.0 port. So let's take a look at that. Oh, we might need to be looking through here. Alright, let's see if you guys can see how bad that one is. See how that one doesn't even have the blue in there anymore? It's completely shredded. So, it's not as bad as the HDMI port was yesterday. But let's put this under the scope real quick so you guys can take a look. I think that's our guy right there. Okay. So now a little bit here. There you go. Okay. So inside it should look like that one. Perfect. So this is our bad one. Flip the back end, everything's looking pretty good there, but if we go under this, so we're going to flip the board over. And there it is. So you can see here how it's just kind of wobbly and destroyed. We're going to peel this off. There we go. I'll salvage that for later. Let's see here. Yep. So, on the USB 3.0 port on this PlayStation, we have, let's grab a plastic tool to point things out. Got a little guy here, 4 here, one main one here, and one little guy here. So we gotta watch out for that little guy. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna move away some of this crud, and we're going to clean it up with alcohol first, and then we're gonna add some flux, and we're gonna start melting the lower melt solder that we have on here, and then we're gonna use a braid to remove it. Or, before the braid, we might use hot air here to pull this off. So, here we go. Let's get that into position. There we go. Okay. I'll make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing really well here. And let's start hitting it with some alcohol so we get some of that mess off of there. There we go. And if you're ever having trouble getting some of this off of there, you take your hot air down to about 120. There we go. And then I like to use wind speed 30. And then I also like to have this right here on, so a nozzle instead of an open nozzle. There we go. That way I can kind of aim it down at an angle while I'm working on it. So when we turn this guy back on, we're going to jump back in here. Okay, so apply a little heat. Let this get up to 120 and come in. Apply a little heat. Just some of that crud, see if it'll loosen it up. There we go. See how that's coming right off now? Very nice. Okay, all of this is breaking up. Okay, the goal here is not to get it too hot so that these little components and stuff, you don't want the solder to melt. Just hot enough to get the crud off. Pretty much old dried up flux and stuff. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add some flux in. First I'm going to use this little guy. Just to kind of blow away some of this moisture here. Make sure it's nice and dry. And then we're going to add our flux on. There we go. Okay. Now let's move over to our soldering iron over here. Let's see which one we have plugged up. Okay, so I got the right one plugged up here. Go ahead and turn that on. Okay, let that get the temperature. And I've got my solder wire ready. It's a lower melt, I believe it's 168. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the iron, tap that to some solder, waste a little bit, but also to get that nice and shiny. Let me show you that. Look how shiny that is. Is that pretty? Yeah, you got to keep those tips looking good. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of my solder to it, to the iron. We're going to come in and start adding that new solder in. Yep, just adding a little here and there, every contact. Ah. Go. Okay. That's really good. Let's move on. Ah, there we go. Make sure this is still at 750. Yeah. It's good to always check, make sure your iron didn't go to sleep for some reason. Okay, I got a good amount on that one. Last one. Okay. That one took the solder very well. We'll move on to these little guys. Okay. Starting to take. Okay. What I'll do here, since it's wanting to give me a little trouble, let's come out with a little more flux. Clean that up in a minute. So we're just going to heat these up. Add it like this. See if that'll take it. See, now that one took very well, and I could actually move the pen around as well on this one. That one's gonna come out easy. Let's get that to take all the way around. And move on to the next one. See, that was nice, nice. I don't know what's wrong with that one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. I'm still in trouble with just that one little pin. Let's hopefully that doesn't give us any trouble, but the rest of them look really nice. Alright, we'll clean off our iron and turn it off. And then, let's see. I think now we're going to apply some heat. So we're going to reposition this. The components that are there are going to stay because of the tension that the solder is causing between the component and the pads themselves. So it just kind of holds it in place, even no matter really how much wind you put on it. 100% wind, it's possible. So just be careful. Yeah, I would go straight on instead of at an angle. At an angle, maybe you could get some air underneath and it would lift off. So just be careful. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the nozzle off. So we're going to come over here. Not too hot. Let's go and take it off. Okay. Turn this back on. I'm trying to think. 360 is a good temperature. I could try that. Now with these PlayStation boards, they are a bit more difficult. Now I'm going to go to 100 wind speed. And yeah. Let's put that nozzle right over it and have some fun with this. Let's see if I can maybe... No, you won't be able to watch it through this. You just have to watch it from here. I really need another camera somewhere like over in an angle. I think just like right in this area, pointing over here. That'd be neat because you'd see me reach over here and grab the hot air and everything. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more flux to it on each contact here. Just to make it nice and easy. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to pick up our heat. Okay, I like to come at it slow, heating up the entire area and then starting to focus the heat. We'll wait for some of that solder to melt, and then I'm going to start using the tweezers to pull the USB port out. There we go. And it's kind of shiny. Is it here? Definitely taking longer than I like. I don't usually like to stay on it this long. Okay, so we're going to back away. So this is just trial and error, really. I didn't look up anything to see what other people are using with temperatures and stuff on this one. So I'm just kind of experimenting. And what's cool is this is what you guys can do. You know, don't be afraid. Don't think you have to have the perfect temperature, the perfect wind speed. Just remember not to bake your board. So what I mean by that is staying on the board with heat for more than 30 seconds, really. You don't want to stay on there for more than 30 seconds in most cases. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take our heat up. I'm going to jump straight up to 420. And that's just for fun. Here we go. Go to the top camera here. Come back over here. Apply the heat to it again. Okay, let's see if 420 is enough. Okay, I'm seeing some solder melt. Come on, baby. Let her go. Whew, that is hot. Okay, still not going. So, pulling away. I mean, it really does look like all my solder's melted. Not quite all of it, though. I see some of it still grayed over. So I think if I would have stayed on for another 5 to 10 seconds, it might have done it. But again, I think I just need to go with a higher temperature so that I don't have to stay on the board for as long. So we're going to let that cool down for a second. Do. Cool. Man, those boards look so cool. Okay. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go straight up to 460. Now 480 is what I use for the HDMIs at 100, and that works great. I just wanted to kind of experiment on this video, so just kind of having fun. Okay, here we go. Let's go one more time. This should do it. I'm just going to apply a little bit more flux here. Just a wee little bit. Alright, this should be the magic number, everybody. There we go. Okay, I'm starting to see some of the solder melt. We got one anchor, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and start touching the USB port. So I'll let go this time. Oh, there it goes. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. And we got her. There it is. Okay. So, 460 did work at 100 wind speed. And here's our little guy. There it is. Let's see if I can get y'all to focus here. Yeah, you can see all the little points that are going up through the board there with those anchor points. And then, of course, the inside of it. Oh, there's a mess. So, another trophy for the wall over here. So now we're going to take the board and put it underneath the scope so we can take a look, see what's going on here. Okay, so we still have all of our components. By that I mean our little guy right there, over here, our 4, and our main. Alright, so now all we have to do is clean it up. So I'm going to adjust the board to a comfortable spot here, and then I shall start cleaning. Whew. Heck yeah. So again, don't be scared to experiment a little and just figure these things out. So what I would do now, I just keep a notepad and I just write down temperatures and wind speeds and different lengths of time that I'm spending. Like, is it 15 seconds? Is it 35, 40 seconds? How long does it take for that thing to let go? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just keeping your own notes and learning how to use your own equipment. And yeah, so now we're just gonna go ahead and start cleaning. Sorry, I get into a rant. I start talking a bunch. Let's see. Let's clean this thing up. Okay, let's go into scope real quick. So this is where our USB port just came off. And we're going to start cleaning this. So does anybody know what I should do here to make cleaning off that cooked flux? So like, and make it a little easier to get off there. So if I just wipe away, it's just kind of caked in there because we had to use so much to get it off. So what we're going to do is switch to our heat gun. We're going to put our nozzle back on and then take our temperature down to 120. There we go. Oh. And then I like, again, the wind speed about 30, 40. And I've got some alcohol on my Q-tip over here. Go back into our scope and let's see how much easier it is to clean up. Okay, so here's our heat gun. We're going to start applying heat over here on the end, and then we're going to start cleaning it up. Look at that, just wipes right away. Nice. There we go. Okay, that one's pretty dirty. I'm going to put that away. Whew. This one's ruined. There's a Q-tip on here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the Q-tips. They do work better a lot of times, but they just leave a lot of little filaments and stuff behind. Pieces of cotton. Okay, let's move this board over a little. Clean around these little guys. Okay, we got this looking pretty good. Get a little white. And then we're going to use our tool for drying it up a bit. A little air blower. Okay. So now we have solder in every hole here. So to make it easier for our new port to go in, so let's see, let's grab this port. If we have our port here, you guys can see that. It has all those little legs over there. You can see them. So all those legs need to go in, and those 4 anchor points on the end that help support the USB port. So what you want to do, we're going to try to come up from below, fit into the board, and every single one of these needs to be evenly inserted into the board. So that would be hard to do if the solder's still there. So what we need to do now is remove some of the solder. So that's going to be fun. So now we're going to learn how to do that. There we go. Let's zoom in a little so you guys can see what I'm up to. Alright, so there is an option. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing there. There is an option for a solder sucker. You can use that. You can use braid. I mean, there's a few different ways to do it, but you can also use a braid with an iron. You can use braid with hot air. Today I'm going to be using braid with an iron first. Let's try that. So I'm going to heat this thing up to 750, and we're going to jump back into the scope. Now that we have it nice and clean, we're going to go ahead and dirty it back up. I'm going to add some to each point here, and then we're going to give it a try. Alright, so one thing I do like to do is the braid itself, add a little bit of flux to the back end of it. This helps to pull the solder into it. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Come on, baby. Pull it into it. Oh man, look at that. Not even moving, not budging. Barely able to heat it up. Alright, so what we need to do first is downgrade that solder. Now, we don't want to downgrade it to 138, we're going to 168. Hey, look at that. Okay, let's just put some of that solder in here. There we go. That should melt a lot easier. Okay, over here. There we go. Okay. And while you're doing this, try your best not to get any on like the other components, like this one or this one or this one. You just have to be careful and also not to get any of these pads here. Okay, so let's try those two again. Looks like we're good on the braid. Still ready. Oh, we want a little bit more flux here. Okay, let's just try this one real quick. Come on, get up in here. Come on. Trying to make it where you guys can see something going on here. I always had a lot of trouble with this, just getting the temperature hot enough, getting that solder to melt. See right now, if you put the iron right to it, you need to clean this up too. So another thing that can happen is you get too much flux on there, and instead of helping, it hurts the process. So I'm going to clean up. One more again. There we go. Okay, dry that up a bit. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and snip off this braid we've been using. Shorten it up a bit. Okay, so then a dab of flux again. There we go. And yes, I am completely aware that this is the process that hinders me the most. If I could just get this part down pat, just getting that solder out of the anchor points would be fantastic. Still having trouble. Look at this. There's nothing. And I'm at 750 on the iron too. Okay. Well, this method is not working for me today. Let's see what else we can do here. Let's see. Let's hit it with some alcohol again. Clean it up. Okay. Now, what we can do is we're going to try to use the braid along with the hot air gun, hot air station. Let's dry that up a bit. I'll put down some flux again on these 2 points. And we'll give these two a try. Okay, I could try to do this underneath the scope. Let's get it about right there. And what I have to do is I like to use the tweezers on that so I can kind of like aim it and actually have it in there underneath the heat. Problem is the amount of heat that I'm going to have to use is probably pretty high here. Remember, we had it melting at 460, so that's going to be fun. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull the board off the table. I just don't want to melt my table. And then we will try to get this over here where you guys can see. So close. Okay, I'm gonna get a little beyond my comfort zone here. Okay, let's test this arm. I do not need to be playing around too much with this arm over here. Okay, so we're close to where we need to be. I guess I'll have to position it a little further over here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're just going to try this really quick. Let me take my heat up. And right now I'm just going to go to 400 real quick. So, give me a second. And let me go to wind speed 60. I'll be with y'all in a second. Okay, let's see what happens here. I might have to take a break here in just a second. So this is my last attempt. Let's go with this bottom one here. We're waiting for it to melt. There we go. Come on, baby, melt. Let's see if it's almost melting. It's just not melting at that temperature. It's starting to a little bit. Can move it around. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Nope, this is not one to go. Okay. So, this is where a solder sucker would come in handy. Now, the only reason I don't like using the solder sucker is, let's see, let me pull this out real quick. Just not a fan of this thing. This is the solder sucker. So you guys should get some of these on Amazon and stuff, and yeah, pretty much what you're doing here is you're loading it up with some air, or getting ready to provide some suction right there, and whenever you hit that button, boom, it's going to pull up any solder into the actual chamber there. Mine's a little dirty. I've definitely used it. Not too bothered by it. The main thing is like the amount of I guess friction that it causes on the board. So when you have this on the board, just check out my finger here. Watch this. See how much it vibrates there? I don't know if you can tell, but it's enough to bother me. And I had one time that a component flew away, bounced away, come off the board, and I wasn't happy about it. So what we'll do real quick is we'll show you one time with this, and then I'll do the work off camera for a bit. Oh no, my poor iron. So I set my iron over here and forgot to clean it and re-tin it to keep it pretty. So we're going to charge this thing back up to 750 and get it clean. Okay, so let me add a little flux to the tip here, make it look pretty nice. There we go. Oh yeah, much better. And then turn it off. Okay, can't let my equipment go bad. Okay, let's see. So we're going to be applying heat again. So we're at 400. Let's just go. Let's go all the way up to 440 at wind speed 60. We've got it hanging off the table a bit, and then we're going to apply some more flux here, and we're going to do this one right here. Okay. Now for this, getting in here with the solder sucker, we're talking that much space between the light, the microscope, and this is the workspace that I have here available. Alright, 60 wind speed, 440 degrees. We're going to try to get this little guy right here. Okay, scoot it up a little so you can see. So we got some flux right here in the corner. Here we go. Let this get the temperature before I go in. Hey, Lally girl, what you doing? Okay, there we go. Get the area so I ain't going crazy on one little spot. Okay. I wish me luck. Here we are. Is this the little guy? I don't know if I can do this at an angle like this. We'll try. Right now I'm trying to do this under a scope when I usually do it without the scope. I'm just trying to let you guys see what I'm up to. It should start melting here in a second. There it is. Okay. Ready, and I'll give it a try. Ooh, baby. I missed it. Yeah, it's hard to hit. That is hard to hit. I got something out right there. Look at that. Woo! Alright. So you can imagine what it's doing there. So I want to make sure you guys got to see that before I actually clean it up off camera. Yeah, some of my solder came out. Some of this stuff right here. So that's where it's all going. And it was coming off right there. That's some of the old solder that I've been getting out of these devices. Yeah. Alright. Well, I'm gonna get off here and just see what they were all wanting. Everybody kept coming up at me, saying my name in the background. I'm gonna try to do this off camera real quick with the solder sucker. And the reason why I can't get it to go work perfectly there is because I'm coming in at an angle to the board, and what you really need is that suction straight down. So once I get the microscope out of the way, I'll be able to apply the heat, come straight down, and then get that solder right out of those holes.